Hey everybody, Matt here again, and what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making a basic stove. Now, if you want to, well, I say a basic stove, actually it's a little more complicated. It's a lot less complex than like this kind of stove here, but it's a little more complex than your basic cat food can. That's what this is here. It's just a cat food can that's been cleaned out completely. Now you could go the basic approach and just punch some holes in the side of it, and it will work fine. Okay, it'll be just as good a stove as what this is going to be here. Okay, but if you want something a little more complex, a little more just something a little cooler, if you want to. And it's a good project too, but you don't want to go all out and do something like this mini bowl design stove. This will be a good project. Alright, so first thing you're going to need is you're going to need a cat food can. Second thing is you're going to need a small drill or driver. I didn't want to bring my big drill, I'll just use this little one and a little bitty drill bit. You're going to need 3 to 4 legs, depending on how many legs you want. These are from my mini bowl design stove, but you could use nails if you want, like cut the heads off of them. If they're about this long and in that diameter, you can do that. But the main thing you want, if you're going to put legs on it, is you want to make sure it has this lip right here. Okay, because that's what we're going to be drilling into. So as long as it has that lip right there, you'll be pretty good. Second thing you want is you want some kind of tubing. Metal, of course, you don't want plastic because it'll melt, but you want a tube that your leg will fit in. Doesn't have to be completely snug, but you don't want it to be too big and then it just has a ton of wiggle room. You want it to be loose but not able to wiggle around a whole lot. Alright, last thing you need is, well, it'd be good to have, I just have a little hacksaw just to cut the tubing. Nothing too impressive. I mean, if you want to use a small grinder or Dremel to cut it, you can. Last thing I have is some adhesive. This is, I work on appliances, so this is high heat dryer adhesive, but super glue will work just as well. You can use something that takes a little longer to dry if you want. I'm just using this because I know it's quick and I can do it in the video. Alright, enough of my talking, let's get to building. Alright, first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to mark your holes. So I just got a Sharpie here, and since there's going to be 3 legs, I'm just going to mark 3 spots that I think would be good for holes for the legs to be in. 4 legs would actually be a little bit better than 3, because that with a stove like this you have a wider base for it if you have 4 legs. A little more stability, but I only had 3 of these, so I'm doing it with 3, but you can do it however you want. That's the beauty of building your own stove. Alright, so I got my 3 holes marked. That was a mistake. That's about, equally distanced apart. Alright, next thing you're gonna want to do is take your drill and drill those holes out. This is a very complicated build, isn't it? And be careful that you don't penetrate the bottom of the can like I almost did. Alright, you want to just check, make sure that hole is big enough. If not, you're going to want to widen it out some. Alright, let's see now, test it. Needs to be a little bit bigger. Let's see if maybe that did it. It's just hard because you're walking a fine line between busting this lip and getting the hole too small. So you just want to be very careful when doing this. that you don't make the hole just way too big and then you're outside of this little lip, because then your pot leg will not be very stable. Oh, safety glasses would not be a bad thing to have too if you're like me and not very careful. Alright, now I got it in there barely. Now I'm gonna just kind of wiggle it around and that'll widen it even more. Yeah, there we go. Alright, now it's in the hole. It's pretty stable, but as you can see, it kind of can move from side to side like this here, like that. And that's why we have the little tube. The tube is going to go down there. You can see the hole. I drilled out right there. So now we're going to measure our tube out. Going to measure it just like this, next to it. And you see this ring right here. You put a line just right underneath that. And that's where you cut it. Alright, so I've got one of these tubes done. I shut the camera off because I was using a hacksaw to cut it and it was taking forever and a day, so to keep the length of the video down I just cut that. So anyway, so back to the stove here. What I did was right now I have the little section inside there, the little section of pipe that I cut, and I stuck the leg down through it so that I have a guide and it's going to stay in place. But I don't want to glue the leg to the pipe. That would be bad. Alright, this might get a little bit messy here with this glue, but I'm going to just hold the leg steady and get some of this glue down in there around it. Now when you see this glue that I'm using in the video, you're going to be like, oh my word, that stuff is all over the stove. I know, but the glue works. So now I'm going to gently lift the leg out, and that's all there is to it. I'm going to clean off the little bit of glue that got on the bottom of it. That's not good. And then I'm going to just wait for this glue to dry. I'm going to drill the other holes and get the other pieces of pipe cut, and I'm going to show you what the inside looks like, and I'm going to finish it up. So just hang tight. Back in a second. That sure is messy in there, ain't it? Alrighty, after about 30 minutes and a grilled cheese sandwich, our stove is done. The glue is still a little wet, so I don't want to stick the legs in because it'll shift them around a little bit, but they're set, just not completely dry. So I'll show you here. I got all three of them. Yes, I know the glue is horrendously messy, and there's all three holes done. Alright, so the last thing with this stove is this. Okay, Matt, what is this? Okay, all I did was I reached up in my attic and grabbed some insulation. You can use carbon felt if you would like, but I use insulation because it's there and it was free. So anyway, the beauty of this is when you put it in your stove, it'll soak up the alcohol that you burn inside of it, and it'll be like a wick, almost like a candle wick, except burn a lot hotter than a candle wick. So all you gotta do is you just stick this down in here, and that's it. Your stove is done. So the last thing would be to put your legs in like so. I might see if I can just stick them in just for a minute and show you what it's like with all the legs in. Where'd my third one go? Blue Jay mascot here. Oh, there it is, all the way down there. And there you go. Again, you know, not the most professional stove, but the proof is in the pudding. It works. Alright, I'm going to be doing a burn test later on this stove, show you how it works and all. But that's basically it, how to make your own little DIY stove. And it works great. And if you wanted to make it a little more complex, you could drill a hole in the side for a fuel line. And hey, there you go. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your stove. And I'll see you next time on the next Sawgrass Brothers videos.